You've had nachos, but have you had chicken tender nachos? From brisket to poke, some of the best nacho dishes are found in the most unexpected places. Some things just seem like they belong together: peanut butter and jelly, pie and ice cream, or nachos and beer. For the latter, head to Miller's Ale House, where the dynamic duo pair perfectly together. These nachos are not normal-sized. In fact, they're mega. They come loaded with roasted chili-spiced chicken as their protein. The cheeses of choice are Monterey Jack and cheddar, complemented by pico de gallo and scallions. To finish this nacho masterpiece, garlic crema is drizzled on top. Because that is not enough, there is also guacamole, sour cream, and jalapenos. Let's not forget the bowl of white queso for dipping. One customer shared their experience on Yelp, stating, "For a sports bar type place, this really surprised me. The chicken on the nachos was very tasty, and all the toppings were very good." The original Hard Rock Cafe opened in London, England, which makes the fact that it has nachos on the menu surprising but delightful. Hard Rock is also known for its awesome rock and roll memorabilia, so you'll have plenty to talk about and enjoy as you munch on the cheesy feast. Hard Rock's nachos jazz up the original creation with the addition of ranch-style beans, pickled red onions, and scallions. For an additional charge, you can choose to add guacamole, grilled chicken, or grilled steak. They also come complete with spicy jalapenos to bring up the heat factor. One customer loved the nachos and posted about the spice level on TripAdvisor, titling his post, "Fabulous Nachos." The review read in part, "Being an Indian, and especially from New Delhi, we love to have balanced spicy food, which we very well had at this place. Portion size was good enough for 2 people, and the food quality significantly justifies its price, and the brand name where it is being served." Nachos are the perfect game day food, and because of this, they can be found as a mainstay in major sporting arenas. When you cannot make it to the stadium or field for the big day, the next best place is a sports bar. So Twin Peaks has got you covered when you want to watch the big game and eat some delicious nachos.
So get your axe into Twin Peaks and experience the Lodge mentality.
The nachos are not simply one layer, but instead double stacked, and there is no upcharge for adding meat like at some other establishments. You can choose between smoked chicken, brisket, or pulled pork. The cheese choice is also unique, as the dish includes chipotle queso in addition to cheddar. The restaurant also tops it all off with house-made avocado smash. Applebee's prides itself on being a family-friendly neighborhood restaurant, which brings to mind thoughts of chicken tenders and burgers. You might not suspect it, but the restaurant also has delicious nachos. So the next time the family is out on the town, consider stopping by and snagging some. Adults can also take advantage of Applebee's fun bar with reasonably priced signature drinks and constantly changing drink specials. There are 2 kinds of nachos on the menu: chipotle lime chicken and ground beef. Both are topped with queso blanco and a blend of melted cheddar cheeses. The dishes are rounded out with fresh jalapenos for spice and sour cream to cut the heat. There is also guacamole for all the avocado lovers out there. These nachos hit the spot when you want something tried and true. They're not too adventurous, but are consistently good. You can even use them as a safe standby to satisfy the family, even those notoriously picky eaters. Ruby Tuesday has a reputation for its quality burgers and salad bar. This American chain of restaurants has a few surprises up its sleeve as well. One of those surprises is its nachos, which are especially good if you love barbecue sauce. And really, who doesn't? In this appetizer, crispy tortilla chips are loaded with mouth-watering barbecue chicken. It also features black beans instead of the more common pinto. The toppings are drizzled with additional barbecue sauce to add extra flavor. The result is a divine marriage of savory, gooey cheese and sweet and tangy sauce. Combining sweet and savory amplifies both flavors and makes Ruby Tuesday's nachos even more delectable. Ruby Tuesday is mainly found on the East Coast of the United States, so if you find yourself in that area, drop by for some nachos with a barbecue twist. There will be no regrets. Yard House is a California-born chain that focuses on a huge selection of draft beer, music, and good food, including 2 types of nachos. You can choose between a more classic take featuring chicken, pinto beans, cheddar cheese, Monterey Jack cheese, and more, or poke nachos with marinated raw ahi and crispy wontons. The chicken nachos are filling and perfectly balanced, according to a customer who shared on Yelp. Perfect amount of everything on there. I was afraid the nachos would get overpowered by the beans. Every nacho had something on it, no empty nacho seen. Don't be afraid to try the less traditional poke nachos. Another customer calls them their favorite and orders them whenever they can. They might change their drink, but the nachos stay the same, which is a telltale sign of a great dish.
I'm thinking, you, me, Dave & Buster's.
Sometimes you need to let loose and play some arcade games. Classics such as air hockey, Dance Dance Revolution, and skee-ball are great ways to relieve some stress, or just have some good old fun. But what would make an arcade even more fun? Nachos. Dave & Buster's nachos are a great option for game enthusiasts. You can grab a platter to share among friends in between rounds of Cruise and Blast, or just pre-game. The nachos come with grilled chicken and are made creamier with ancho lime crema. Another fun feature is the grilled poblano, which is a mild chili that might not pack a ton of heat, but makes up for it in flavor. One customer went here for a fun date night and had the best time. Sharing on Yelp, the sauce that they put on the chicken nachos was so delicious, and it had a little spicy kick to it. The chicken nachos have chicken, avocado, sour cream, jalapenos, cheese, and chips.
The Cheesecake Factory's amazing!
When you think about the Cheesecake Factory, the first thing that comes to mind is probably its delicious namesake dessert and not nachos. It might not be named the Nacho Factory, but this oversight shouldn't stop you from choosing one of the restaurant's 2 nacho offerings. Cheesecake Factory diners have options. There are the traditional factory nachos, which come with crispy tortilla chips, melted cheese, jalapenos, and green onions. The toppings are accompanied by sour cream, guacamole, and salsa with red chili sauce drizzled over the entire dish. The other spin on nachos is the ahi poke variety. Instead of tortilla chips, there is a crispy wonton base, complemented by avocado, green onions, chilies, sesame seeds, and sriracha aioli. A good tip is that you can order the nachos to share and save room for a cheesecake dessert. If you enjoy having nacho options, wait until you see the extensive cheesecake menu. It even changes seasonally. Beer is delicious and all, but it is not the only thing happening at BJ's. You can probably guess at this point that the restaurant has nachos too. These ones are loaded and customizable, which makes them super fun. The base is tortilla chips, jalapenos, house-made sriracha queso, melted jack cheese, and cheddar cheese, accompanied by guacamole, sour cream, fire-roasted salsa, and pico de gallo. This is where things get interesting. They can stay plain, which is a great vegetarian option, or you can choose between piranha pale ale chili or grilled chicken. If you like your nachos with beef, you can upgrade and add tri-tip for an extra charge. One TripAdvisor user enthused, served in a large pizza pan. They include melted shredded cheese and cheese sauce, chili, sour cream, guacamole, salsa, pico de gallo, and loads of pickled jalapenos. The best nachos I've had anywhere in a long time. It's surprising that Jimmy Buffett didn't sing about nachos. You can imagine that would have been a hit song. Thankfully, there are 2 different versions of the popular dish on his restaurant's menu. So while you're wasting away in Margaritaville, you can enjoy poke nachos or volcano nachos. It doesn't even matter if it is 5 o'clock. The poke nachos are a great option that matches the island decor of the restaurant. What better way to feel the beachy vibes than by eating seafood, after all? The volcano nachos are a great alternative if you're feeling like a red meat option. They come smothered in chili and cheese, while more traditional toppings like pico de gallo, fresh guacamole, sour cream, and jalapenos are also on board. If you don't order either of these options, you're missing out. Just ask this TripAdvisor user who shared, "We ordered volcano nachos. Big mistake. Now I've been craving them since we left. I don't have the words that can possibly do them justice." The name O'Charley's sounds Irish, and Irish people tend to be known for their stews, creamy soups, potatoes, whiskey, and beer. But this establishment is actually Southern, and it prides itself on its big comfort classics like its fried chicken. So while the name might be confusing, the bottom line is the chain's nachos are pretty comforting after all. These are the only nachos on this list that come topped with chicken tenders, which O'Charley's just happens to be known for. It combines two comfort foods to create one super yummy dish. Another special attribute is the smoked honey barbecue sauce, which is drizzled on top. Nachos and chicken fingers together in one dish is not something to be missed. In order for nachos to meet the specific parameters required of fast food restaurants, inexpensive, easy to prepare, and scalable, chains have to simplify. Jack in the Box found a way to make fast food nachos not only possible, but innovative, hearty, and consistently crunchy from the first bite to the last. Jack in the Box doesn't actually call its nachos by that name, but the loaded tiny tacos are nachos by any definition. First, the burger-centric chain shrinks down one of its most unique and cult-beloved menu items. Its crunchy fried tacos filled with a creamy, meaty slurry of cheese, beef, and sauce. Then they throw a bunch of those little tacos into a deep box and cover it all with a drizzling of cheese sauce, spicy sauce, and shredded lettuce. All of these acts work together to transform some miniature tacos doused with liquid into what's really nacho chips stuffed with nacho ingredients, which are then tossed with other nacho plate favorites.
At least once a year, I like to bring in some of my Kevin's famous chili.
Chili is Tex-Mex cuisine, meaning it was perfected in that border-hugging region comprising Texas and Mexico, benefiting from elements of both cuisines. There's also a strong barbecue culture and history in Texas and Mexico. Famous Dave's, a chain of traditional barbecue restaurants, pulls from these culinary traditions to make a truly exciting nacho plate. It's a viable entry among its regular fare and would be an exceptional entry on the menu of a Mexican-style restaurant chain. A platter of Famous Dave's barbecue nachos appetizer can easily serve 1 or 2 people because it's absolutely loaded with toppings. The dish starts with a standard base of tortilla chips, cheddar cheese, tomato, and lettuce, but then it gets more interesting. Where other restaurants might use pinto beans, Famous Dave's piles on Wilbur beans. It's in-house sweet and savory barbecue beans side dish. Then comes a generous helping of Famous Dave's chili, its signature rich and sassy barbecue sauce, jalapeno slices, and a seasoned sour cream concoction. That would be plenty of chili and barbecue representation, but then customers get a choice of what slow-cooked barbecued meat they want on their barbecue nachos appetizer: Texas-style beef brisket, chopped pork, or pulled chicken.